Welcome everybody to week 8 of Totem Tuesday. I can't believe we're 8 weeks in already, and I also can't believe it's taken me 8 weeks to get round to this animal, though in a way, if this feels exactly the right week to be speaking about this animal. And as you've probably seen by the title, this week we're going to be looking at the dolphin. Now, anyone that knows me or that's been on my Facebook page will know that for the last 6 months a group of us have been heavily involved with protesting against the Taiji dolphin hunts in Japan. And not only protesting, actively protesting, going out there and getting a megaphone out, but also, through petitions and everything, but also meditating and visualising and trying to communicate with the dolphins as well. So this has been a massive chunk of the last 6 months, really, from September. And I guess because, I don't want to go too much into the political or the whatever side of it, but I guess because it was so harrowing and so heartbreaking. If anyone needs any more information about this, check out the Sea Shepherd's page, check out Rico Barry's Save Japan's Dolphin page, and also, if you haven't seen it, check out the Cove, which is a documentary. But you'd be prepared. I'm preparing you for the Cove video. It is heartbreaking and it's really full on. It's a documentary, it's real, so it's worth knowing. And it's all about what happens with the dolphin hunts, the mass killing of dolphins in Taiji, Japan every year. So we've been really, I've lost my train of thought of why we were talking about that just then. But check out what's been going on if you want to, if you feel like that is something that you need to know. But if you love dolphins, it is something that you need to know. So I've been working with this heavily, and I think that's what I was saying. I think because it was quite such a full-on experience and sad experience of so many losses of lives, that maybe I didn't really want to talk about the dolphin. But this week I'd planned from last week, this is going to be the week that I was going to talk about the dolphin. And particularly because I was last Friday, I was at a protest about the Taiji dolphin hunt, so I was at a protest about it and thought, well, this is definitely the week that this is about the dolphin. And funnily enough, and relief beyond relief enough, 2 days ago they announced the end of the dolphin hunting season. They announced it early. It should have ended in March, and we've ended it in February. So in a way, this is a brilliant day to talk about the dolphins, because it's the first time I've started doing Totem Tuesday where I can be relieved that the hunters aren't going out there today to hunt the dolphins. So that's why I think today's been a perfect day to talk about dolphins. A little bit more of an easier heart, though many of the dolphins that were captured were taken to captivity and are in for life of performing for humans in a little pool rather than roaming hundreds of miles daily, which they do in the wild. But that's not what this video is about, though. Of course, dolphin well-being and welfare is a part of what we, animal being and animal welfare is a big part of the Totem Tuesday video. It's not just about meditating with the animals, it's taking care of them as well. But, I don't want to go too much on about that, because this is a video about having the animals a totem and about the dolphin. But I just wanted to make that as an intro, really, for what's been going on. So, dolphins. Let's have some facts. Some dolphin facts to start off the day. There's about approximately 41 different species of dolphins. Most of those are saltwater dolphins, but you do get a few species of river dolphins as well. You've got the Amazon pink river dolphin, and others. Some of the breeds of some of the species of dolphins are bottlenose, that's most popular. Spinner, Rizzo, striped, melon-headed dolphin. There's many different species, obviously around about 41. And they're all unique looking and beautiful and fascinating. Also, it might surprise some of you to know that orca, killer whales, are actually a member of the dolphin family as well. That's something that I didn't know about 6 months ago either. I thought they were whales, obviously being the name killer whale. But no, orca are actually part of the largest member of the dolphin family. The name for dolphins and whales is cetaceans. That's the name we call them for the mammals, dolphins and whales. And yes, as I mentioned, they are mammals. They're very different to the majority of creatures that live in the sea. They're not fish, they're warm-blooded mammals. They nurse their young from mammary glands. They have wombs. They're very much like humans of the ocean, but far better. So yes, dolphins, whales, cetaceans are mammals of the ocean, and therefore they need to breathe air like we do. So have the blowholes on their top of their heads, and they're able to dive deeply and breathe deeply from up to 20 seconds to up to around 30 minutes. They can hold their breath while they dive. They can dive up to around 1,000 feet in the ocean, but they're normally shallow divers. They normally dive a little bit less to get their food. They they have 100 teeth, around about 100 teeth, little things, but they don't use those teeth to chomp and bite on their prey. They use those teeth to catch the fish that they're eating, and then they swallow them whole. And a dolphin can eat up to 30 pounds of fish a day. So that's a lot. And also with that, the ridiculous amount of overfishing that's going on in the oceans at the moment, where not only are we taking so much fish from the oceans, but also polluting the oceans. And also with the quotas on how much people are allowed to fish, they often end up throwing back dead fish into the ocean, which is not helpful. Dolphins are losing their subsistence, they're losing their food. So that's another way that we're really affecting their well-being. But yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute. They work in teams, in their pods. They are very close to their pod members, their family, their group. It's called pods, and the bonds are intense. The family bonds, the pod bonds are very intense, tight-knit communities. They work in teams to hunt. They sometimes hunt alone, but mainly they work in teams. And they have many different ways, and they evolve species to species, different ways of hunting. As you probably know, they are exceptionally clever animals, one of the cleverest creatures on the planet. And they managed to, I just read in a magazine, I saw a little article yesterday, in fact, at how they've also managed to use tools, not only to help them hunt, but to help them hunt more comfortably. There was a lovely picture of this bottlenose dolphin, and it had this sponge on its nose, on its beak, so that when it really went to the bottom of the seabed, where it was quite rough, gravelly, sharp, it would protect its nose. Isn't that absolutely genius? So another mammal like us and like chimpanzees and other creatures of high intelligence that uses tools to not only get what it wants, but to make life easier as well. So the high intelligence of dolphins is very important in their totem. Can't talk today. Their totem medicine or totemic medicine. With the intelligence, being different to us, we can't quantify quite how intelligent they are compared to us. But in my mind, they are on a par, if not higher, in some ways, intelligent than us. In some ways, of course, their communication is extremely complex. They use clicks. I won't do an impression of it. You can all listen to how dolphins speak. They do clicks to communicate. They can listen and hear sounds up to over 10 times higher than humans can hear. They have very sensitive hearing, and of course they use sonar to detect movement and detect their prey and help them hunt. In fact, a part of the brain that they have was an organ called the melon, which is around their brain, and not a melon like a fruit, but the melon, and it sends out the sonar, and it also receives the information back there. So that's a fascinating part of the dolphin brain, which is completely different to our brains. They have similar sized brains to us, slightly bigger and slightly different shaped, but this melon part is fascinating in how they sense what's around them. So sounds, communication, hearing are all things that you will be really looking at when you are working with dolphin energy, or if you have dolphin as your totem. They it's something that I think we've always known, but science has just proved that they can communicate, and also they have names for each other, which they, in their clicking, in their communication with each other, they call each other names. Their communication is complex. They can talk in the way that they communicate with each other and tell each other different things. And different species, for example, between bottlenose and Rizzo dolphins have a different range of sounds that they work with. So it's really, really fascinating. And I saw a lovely video. There's a lady out in Florida, I think, that was trying to, working with the dolphins for many years and trying to decipher the language of the dolphins. So yeah, highly skilled communicators. And we'll look at the medicine and the energy of all the different areas of things you'll be working with dolphin in just a sec. But I think that sound, breath, and breath we'll come back to in a minute as well, because it's a really important one to be working with in a spiritual and physical way if you're drawn to dolphin energy, is something that's really, really important. When you look at dolphins, they bring a sense of joy, don't they? They just bring an absolute sense of pure, pure joy in the wild, not in captivity. I mean, we love seeing them, but it's not fair and it's not right to go and see them in captivity. If you are drawn to go and see dolphins, please do go and see them in the wild. And in the UK, this is possible to do in various places, but particularly where I've visited dolphins in the wild is just off the coast of Inverness in Scotland, the Moray Firth, where every evening dolphins come up to this point, Channery Point, where you can kind of go out almost to the point where they are in the sea, and it's beautiful because they come over and they feed every evening. So you can have a front row ticket to watching wild dolphins, leaping and enjoying the freedom of the ocean. It's a beautiful place to watch dolphins, and they'll fill you with absolute joy. I know in Ireland as well, there's places where you can see dolphins. So do take a boat trip out or go to Inverness, and if you're in the UK, obviously it's probably of course there's other places around the world. I'm only sort of saying what I know. To watch dolphins, but do not go and see them in captivity, because that's really supporting a lot of cruelty. And even though we like seeing them, it's very much not right to go and watch them in captivity or to support captive dolphins or whales. Going to see them, yes. So yeah, and also when I was on holiday in Portugal, in the Algarve, and you're going on a boat trip and the dolphins just come and swim up with the boat. So I'm sure many of you guys have had similar experiences when you've been on holiday and you've been out in boats and the dolphins just come and swim up by the boats, and they're curious about humans. They do want to spend time with us a lot of the time. They're interested in us, and they fill us with a sense of joy and wonder. And it's amazing what seeing a dolphin leaping out of the water can do for a very serious-minded human. They can just bring so much joy and happiness to us. So that beautiful sense of love and joy is without a doubt something that we have as dolphin medicine. Strong joy, playfulness, a big thing that as mere humans need to remember. As children we play, as adults we kind of get very serious, and it's all bills and prescribed life that worries us all the time. And I'm not saying not to worry about it, but I'm saying to make time to play for playing's sake, to enjoy life. And it's a very healing process, and through dolphin energy we can understand how being playful can heal us and evolve us in many ways, and we can learn so much about ourselves and other people through play. In myth, about dolphins, yes, the Polynesian islanders thought of porpoises as a god on his own terms, which is awesome. In Greek myth, we've got Poseidon, who had dolphin as a sacred animal, and dolphins were often seen in artwork accompanying Poseidon. They were the messengers of Poseidon as well. Dolphins were also sacred to Apollo and to Aphrodite, and in a lot of Greek art you'll see dolphins carved and painted onto pottery and to wall paintings. They're also sacred to the Minoans as well, who had a lot of dolphin images in their artwork as well. In Greece as well, seeing one dolphin was a symbol of friendship, two dolphins swimming together was a symbol of balance, and having dolphins swimming different ways was a symbol of evolution and involution. So there's some symbology of the dolphins as well. Here in Europe, for a little while, we didn't really get that dolphins were mammals. We got up until about 1810, I think, we just thought they were fish, and they were called the king of fish. But it's interesting because the name dolphin comes from the Greek dolphus, and that can be which means womb, and that can be interpreted as fish with a womb. So that's an interesting meaning of the etymology of the word dolphin. In Hindu myth, dolphins are associated with Ganga, deity of the Ganges River. The dolphin was heralded as the messenger of the goddess, and seeing the dolphin would be a sign that the goddess was going to descend from the mountains. Here's some of the totem energy of the dolphin here. Freedom, an important energy to work with. They're free, and that's something that just as humans we forget as well, the joy of being free. I think seeing a dolphin surfing with, in the ocean, out there leaping up high, they can leap to up to 30 feet, again, just for the sake of it, just because they can, just because it's fun, is such a freeing experience for us, and to free our hearts, to free our emotions. Play, as I mentioned, sound and different levels of things, maybe sound healing or sound therapy could be something that you'd be interested in if you had dolphin as your totem or you're working with dolphin energy. Compassion, an important one. Joy, as I mentioned, and breath. Now, breath is something I'd like to talk about a tiny bit more. That breath, because the power of the breath, being the dolphin an underwater mammal, that the breath of the air is so important to dolphins. So, deep breathing techniques, really working on breath techniques is very important, I think, for everybody, but definitely for people that are working with dolphin energy. Because it can improve our health, our well-being, our mental clarity, our stress levels. It can help us with our manifestations when we're working with magic. It can help us with balancing our own energies. So doing some deep breathing techniques would be important for everybody, but is important very much for people who are working with dolphin medicine and energy. So one thing you can do is, just a quick technique, is breathe in for 4 seconds or for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. Breathe out for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4. Just try that for a little while every day. It's one technique you can work with to kind of deepen your breathing and your experience of breath. So breath work and magic. Because dolphins are also creatures of the ocean and creatures of the air, they are linked to magic of the water and magic of air. Dolphin magic and energy is also for us to discover hidden places, to travel into lands that we haven't seen before, to learn more about ourselves and hidden realms. Universal wisdom is something that's often linked to dolphins. There are some people that think that dolphins are more evolved than humans. I think I'm pretty much one of those people. But there's also people that think dolphins are aliens. Not quite so sure of that, but hey. But then you've got the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where at the end, at the beginning even, where they say so long and thanks for the fish, and they're off. When there's that kind of thought that they're evolved beings. Knowledge of the sea is an important one, to learn about the sea a bit more if you're working. Maybe learn to dive, which is something I would love to do. I haven't ever been diving, but I would love to try diving. Patron of sailors, they are definitely patrons of sailors. Working with balance and harmony in your own life. And a big one is releasing of emotions. And what I was looking at as well as releasing of emotions through breath work, as well as a real dolphin link. So, yeah, dolphins help us to face our emotions and to let go of them, even the ones we're not comfortable with. Because, even the emotions that we don't like and don't want to deal with, we hide at the bottom of the pile, they don't go anywhere, they still stay there, and they can damage us if we don't release them. So dolphins' energy helps us to release emotions. So a real cleansing energy with dolphins, that's a really, really important one. They help us to trust and to learn to trust and to follow our intuition, to understand the rhythms of our life. And of course I've mentioned water and air magic as well. One thing is a kindness that I'd like to say with dolphins as well. There's a real sense of kindness. You've probably seen many stories of dolphins intervening and helping humans and saving their lives. I read a story just last night of a guy that was swimming out in the sea, and it was just near his boat, but no one in the boat could see what was going on. It's about 50 metres away, and he was swimming out to sea, and he had a heart attack, but no one at the boat could see what was going on. And a dolphin came in and kept him afloat so that he could survive, and also until he got the attention of the people on the boat, and then they came out. So they came and saved him, but the dolphin was the one that saved his life. I've heard many other stories that are similar, and I'm sure you guys have too. So friendliness and kindness is something else, like I said, with the compassion that that is important working with dolphin energy. Before I do go, I'm just seeing anything else that I did mention. And there's a couple of things here back in the facts section, but they have very sensitive skin, and this is something that they're very sensitive to human touch and to because the skin can be quite damaged by having fights or brushing against things in the ocean, so sensitive skin. And I'm just wondering if people who have dolphin as a totem also have sensitive skin. That's something I'm just personally wondering. And I also read that one side of their brain sleeps at a time, which is cool. So it allows them to rest. Well, one part of the brain sleeps, but the other part of the brain keeps them breathing and keeps aware of predators or anything, not predators really so much, but any harm or any danger. So that's really a fascinating thing that I just learned as well. So there we go. There in general is my little video on dolphins. Again, there's so much more to say. They're magical, beautiful, wonderful creatures. And if dolphin is your totem, or if you have any interest in cetaceans at all, please do get involved in a local group, conservation, raising awareness. If you live by the sea, if you get involved in any beach clearing programs or something like that, which you can actually give back to the ocean, because the ocean does definitely need it, that would be a great way to celebrate and appreciate your dolphin totem. Thank you for watching so long, and thanks for all the fish.